everyone, my name is Poober. Welcome to episode 14 of our Factorio 0.15 playthrough. Now in last episode we focused on getting rid of our biter problem. We had a couple nests up here to the top left, bottom left, and to the right side over here. And we were able to get rid of those, and obviously we still have a couple more nests down here that are going to be a problem in the future. But for now we've essentially put a band-aid on the issue. We've stopped the bleeding, hopefully long enough so that we can finish working on our production supply depot that we're going to be putting in here today. As you can see, I've been pretty busy and I've gotten a lot done this past hour. So the following footage will be a time-lapse video showing the arrangement of these assemblers, but if you like, you can skip ahead to see an explanation behind this factory. So the first thing you'll notice is that this factory looks pretty spaghetti-like. It's not the organized fashion that you're probably used to seeing in my videos. But one thing I wanted to do with this factory was really make it compact and conform to this kind of crescent-shaped pattern here. And I wanted to be able to still have enough room for a partial bit of lake to be exposed. So let's start at the top here. Let's just go up. And this was originally made about 2 episodes ago, this portion here. And this is practically a duplicate of our factory that we already have at the bottom. This is just our gear wheels here that supply our belts and our inserters primarily. We've got our yellow tech here, followed by our red tech in the middle. And these ones that are not labeled are going to be for our blue belts, and it's going to be supplied by the lube coming in from these pipes here to the left of that. So down here is what we really got accomplished this episode. We were able to put in these assemblers basically in the outline I'm doing here. We've got our inserters here, factories for those. We've got red here, blue, purple. This one here is going to be white inserters, and then this one will be for the green. And then obviously we have pipe production going on here. Another gear wheel here that will supply the bottom portion for the most part of the assemblers. And that feeds into our pump jacks here along with our miners. And then we have our chemical plant that will be produced here and other things like our repair packs. And this gap here is actually going to be for electric furnaces once we reach that tech. And these will produce steel. And I'm doing that as an alternative to feeding our steel line down here. It's already kind of a chaotic mess of belts as it is. So just having it produced on the spot seemed like an easier idea. And this factory here, I believe, is going to be for another set of miners. We have the steam engines here, and then below that we're going to have module 1s, I believe, that are going to be produced here in these 2 assemblers. And those will feed into this assembler here, which will produce the assembly 3 factories, or the assembler 3s, that is. And it looks like I'm missing an inserter there. And that's how it will feed into this one here. We also have our blue assembly machines, which will feed also into the assembly 3 machines here. And then of course the very basic assemblers feed into the blue ones here. We've got more iron gear wheel production here. This spot here will also be another electric furnace once we get that tech. And then obviously here we have our steel axe, and then the iron sticks, and then lights here. Over here to the right, we're going to have our robo ports being produced in this one here. And then this whole kind of chain of assemblers are going to be for our boxes. We're going to start with regular steel chests here, and then eventually just go down the line. I think this one here will be for our purple storage. We're going to have our passive providers here, our requester chests here, and then our yellow just regular storage boxes in this one there. We also have our oil or storage tanks here, and then we're going to put more electric furnaces here as well that will be gradually feeding down this line. So let me explain the belt setup a little bit. So we obviously have our iron belt, which is providing a lot of the input, and you may notice that a lot of these assemblers are not requiring any copper at all, and that was done on purpose. I'm hoping eventually to add another kind of assembly machine depot like this to either the right side here or the bottom right quadrant, where we'll have more assemblers devoted to items that do need copper. But for now, I just wanted this one to be more iron focused. So that's why we have that how it is. And then this line here that I'm stepping on is going to have a shared amount of green and red circuits. So these are going to be shared and then feed up to all of the assemblers that need it. So the blank belt you see here, just imagine that having the red and green circuits on that. And then obviously it supplies quite a decent amount of these assemblers. To the right, you're also going to see a picture I have or a screenshot of the original design I have, so you can see how it will look once it is supplied with all of the circuits that it will need. The other thing I've done, and you might have seen this in the time-lapse footage, is using our yellow belts to differentiate where we're going to have our walls and how the landscape was going to be altered. I was able to use the walls as kind of a reference for where I needed the ground to go. So I used that to fill in where I needed it. And this was based off of, again, another plots website where I just put in basically the diameter I wanted, which in this case was 24 tiles, I think. And then it gave me the dimensions for how to make this in the circular shape that it is. So eventually we'll make this or turn this into the walls and leave this as lake for now, unless I decide otherwise. So in other words, we've gotten a lot done this episode. I'm pretty happy with where we're ending it. We're going to have a lot more potential for automation here in the future, especially once we have our circuit production going and a belt devoted with circuits that will feed these assemblers that need it. But for now, thank you for joining me with this episode, and I hope you'll join me with the next one.